Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Joel Cordero. Crews were called to South Poplar Street in Mount Carmel just after midnight for a fire that affected 8 homes. All 23 people, that included 15 adults and 8 children from the homes, made it out safe thanks to volunteers, according to the Red Cross. 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Mount Carmel's fire Randy Kramer said that all 8 homes sustained damage and the fire was caused by a propane tank explosion. State police arrested 2 men during an undercover operation hiding drugs in Wilkes-Barre. On November 20th, PSP assembled an undercover operation with a confidential informant to buy drugs from a man identified as Cleveland Haynes. A meetup was set at the Osterhaus Free Library on South Franklin Street between Haynes and the CI police. They later saw Haynes with another man, later identified as Brian Pearl. Pearl went down to place the drugs at the base of a light post. The CI approached the 2 men to pick up the drugs and leave the money. When Pearl went to pick up the money, police revealed themselves and tried to place the men in custody. Pearl fled on foot and began throwing items at police behind him. It was later revealed that he was throwing empty plastic bags and pieces of crack cocaine. Haynes and Pearl both faced drug charges, including possession with the intent to deliver. Prosecutors have updated the charges against the Hazleton man from a May shooting in a restaurant. 27-year-old Jose N. Sandoval Perez is accused of killing 30-year-old Nanacook man Jeuriz Sanchez Alvarez in a shooting that took place in Sazon Latino 2 at 921 Alter Street on May 25th. The charges from Hazleton police originally included recklessly endangering another person, theft of a firearm, and carrying a firearm without a license. The new charges are voluntary manslaughter and aggravated assault. Sandoval allegedly fired multiple rounds and struck 2 people inside of the restaurant. When police arrived at the scene, they found Sanchez Alvarez unresponsive and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. The second victim, who was not identified, was shot through the left knee and was flown to a trauma center for treatment. The Dallas Township Police Department is seeking the public's assistance in identifying the driver behind a hit-and-run incident. On November 11th, at approximately 5:00 p.m., police responded to a hit-and-run at the intersection of East Hill Road and State Route 415. The vehicle involved in the incident is described as an old model Dodge Ram with a 2-tone color scheme. The upper body is black or dark blue, while the lower trim is silver. The vehicle has damage to the front end. If anyone has information about the vehicle or the driver, they are asking to contact the police at 570-674-2003. Police were called to a burglary at Bubaku's Burrito, and they are seeking the public's assistance. On November 21st, at approximately 11:20 p.m., the individual shown on your screen broke into Bubaku's Burrito in Wilkes-Barre. The suspect stole cash and 4 skateboard decks from the wall. The individual also attempted to break into 5 different locations using a small pry bar but was unsuccessful. If you have information about the individual, please email Caparel at twp.wilkesbarre.pa.us or call 570-208-4635 extension 268. You can also text with the number 570-760-0215 or send a message to the Wilkes-Barre Township Police Department Facebook page. All information provided will be kept confidential. Coming up on WYLN News, a local holiday parade took place in Wilkes-Barre, and we have the recap of the events that took place there. Plus, a corrections officer has been charged after fraudulently abusing COVID-19 leaves. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network, part of Jefferson Health. With LVHN Same Day, Next Day Cancer Care, you can get a video visit with a clinician within 48 hours following a cancer diagnosis. Learn more at lvhn.org/cancercare. want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, Grace Ann is back with us again to talk about the 12-step program. We've all heard about it, but most people are discharged after 4 or 5 steps. Let's talk about the full 12-step program to change and break addiction to give you freedom in your life.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Hey guys, this is Ray, Pat, and Chad from Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton. You know what month it is? Yes-Vember!
What's Yes-Vember?
Yes-Vember.
No credit, poor credit, slow credit?
Yes-Vember! Need a car? Yes-Vember! Lowest price guarantee? Yes-Vember! So it is Yes-Vember! So if you want that car, come to Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton GMC. Check them out online at blazegmhazleton.com. And remember this, do we have the lowest price guarantee? Yes-Vember! There you go.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Many of Luzerne County's residents gather around to watch the county's biggest holiday celebration. On the afternoon on Saturday, November 22nd, numerous acts were presented in the city's Christmas parade, which later came to a tree lighting ceremony. The variety of acts included the Wilkes-Barre Wolfpack Band, the David Blight Dancers, balloons, costumes, and of course, the Red One himself, Santa. The parade portion of the event started on Main Street, Wilkes-Barre, then ended on Public Square. It was then time for the tree lighting ceremony, and according to Wilkes-Barre Mayor George Brown, the tree was the biggest they have had in a while, with it being 30 feet tall. Mayor Brown was proud for the event's intentions, as it helps the economic growth and brings a lot of people together. According to Tuesday's Luzerne County Council agenda, the nonprofit buyer of the Wilkes-Barre General Hospital has agreed to pay the county a limited annual tax. Tanner Health Foundation will pay $850,000 in lieu taxes from 2026 to 2029. Multiple members of the county council have shown concern about a loss in tax revenue, and their approval is needed before Tanner Health borrows about $72 million. As long as the Tanner Health Foundation meets the legal requirements, they won't be obligated to proceed in making the lieu tax payments after the 4-year term. The next meeting is Tuesday, November 25th at 6 p.m. in the Luzerne County Courthouse, where both the lieu tax and financing approval are set. A Schuylkill County corrections officer has been accused of taking fraudulent COVID-19 leaves to get paid offs from work. 33-year-old Alexander Myers from Kingston allegedly took advantage of the COVID-19 Enforcement Officer Disability Benefit and stole over $20,000 in paid leave from the State Correctional Institute in Frankville. Between January 2024 and November 2025, Myers used 12 medical excuses and 4 lab results from 2 doctors to take 71 paid days off from work. A member of Human Resources contacted both doctors' offices and both said the excuses and results were fraudulent. Myers later said in an interview that the results and excuses were fake and that he did receive one legitimate excuse that he later altered. Myers told police he did need the days off but went about it the wrong way. He has a $20,000 bail posted. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation announced that all DMV centers, including the Full Service Center in Harrisburg, will be closed on Thursday, November 27th and Friday, November 28th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. All online services, such as vehicle registration renewals, changes of address, and driver exam scheduling, among other services, will still be available at pa.gov/agencies/DMV to use throughout the holiday. Coming up on Hometown's News Choice, we sit down with Luzerne County Manager Romilda Crocomo for today's Crocomo's County Report. Plus, WYLN historian Chris Fulmer takes us on the path through history with Sunbury Part 1. Stay with us on WYLN. We'll be right back.
You will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
no matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
For a better customer experience, visit Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Fairway Subaru has been providing generations of customers with Subarus. With exceptional customer service they've come to expect. Check out our selection in person or at fairwaysubaru.com. Fairway Subaru, the right car, the right price, the right dealer.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Roadstocks. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Attention, WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hi, welcome to the Crocomo's County Report. I'm the host today, again, Preston Endress, and here with me again is my good friend, Romilda Crocomo. How are you today, Romilda?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. And you know, I gotta say, we've been getting a lot of snow lately. It's, well, a little more snow.
It's that time of year.
Yes, and as of now, I don't know what else we're in for. I've not been looking at those caterpillars all summer, but
Make sure you turn the heat up.
I got my car undercoated too, just in case.
Get your car undercoated as well.
Okay, well, so I figured for today we can discuss something that we can never get enough of whenever there's a benefit or an issue. What's going on with the budget?
Well, we presented the budget to County Council in October, and we've had a series of budget hearings. I presented the administration's portion of the budget, the courts, the district attorney, the controller, administrative services, judicial services, and we'll be continuing on through all the different divisions, presenting our proposed budget to council, and then council is able to ask questions. We have to answer them, and then they'll make a decision on the budget probably December 9th, but until then, we still have work to do when it comes to the budget.
Yeah. And ultimately what's the hopeful results of a good positive outcome?
Well, we did ask for a 1.9% tax increase. There's a lot of reasons behind it. One, the courts have additional personnel. We're getting a new judge. That judge, he needs a staff. We have to prepare for 2027 when another judicial seat may be on the ballot, which means the judge will take the bench in 28, so we have to prepare for that. Our health care costs for the prison has increased substantially, as well as health care for our employees. So we have to take all those things into consideration. Our utilities are up. We're paying more for goods and services as well. So we asked for a 1.9% tax increase. Through the budget hearings, we had made some concessions, and that probably will be reduced, but we'll see what council decides on the budget.
There's never enough topics to look up for when it comes to the budget. There's always something, including prisons. Well, it's
right. And we had we had the budget impasse for the federal and the state government. So we had to use interest money. We had to float money to provide for human services. We'll probably have to take a tax anticipation note as well, which will have additional interest costs. So all those things really compelled us to ask for a very modest tax increase.
I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, and we have bridges that we have to repair. So that's another added cost. And those costs keep increasing. They don't increase. Years ago, to do a road, a mile of road, it was maybe $450,000, $500,000. And now it can reach up to $1 million for a mile of road.
More cost. Yippee.
Yeah. But we have to get these things done.
Yeah. If it weren't for these roads, we would not be able to get to places.
We wouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, and I know you probably mentioned it last week, but how about a little reminder on what's coming up in December?
Well, December 4th, we have the tree lighting ceremony at the courthouse at 5 p.m.
I love a tree lighting.
It is a beautiful evening. It will be a beautiful tree, I know already, and Santa will be there.
Yes.
And
Santa.
we will have cookies.
Oh, great.
But before then, on November 21st at 7 p.m., the Northeastern Philharmonic will do a jazz and classical program with brass at the courthouse in the rotunda. It will be a beautiful, wonderful evening. I think that the courthouse will make for a wonderful venue to hear classical music like Bach and Gershwin and Bernstein. So take a ride up, spend an evening at the courthouse, and listen to beautiful music.
Yeah. And the Philharmonic, are we talking about the same ones that did it for the 9/11 ceremony?
Yeah, the Northeastern Pennsylvania Philharmonic, and they are really just extraordinary artists and musicians.
Well, we gotta get the best for the best. Great. Okay, well, with that said, I'd say we covered an important thing and important but yet very fun thing for this week's Kokomo's County Report. So I guess we'll see you next time.
When you bundle home and auto, life can be easier. You choose coverage that makes sense for you, at a price that's right for you, and a local State Farm agent who's there for you.
Call State Farm agent Pete Kasalika in the greater Hazelton area today.
It's cold out there. Call S.J. Kowalski for the best products and solutions to help lower your energy costs and keep your family safe and comfortable this winter. Our professional team has unparalleled experience with all the latest innovative types of heating systems. We're a Lennox Premier dealer, installing high-quality equipment, providing the ultimate experience in comfort and climate control while being energy efficient. S.J. Kowalski, heating and cooling the way the earth intended.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, Grace Ann is back with us again to talk about the 12-step program. We've all heard about it, but most people are discharged after 4 or 5 steps. Let's talk about the full 12-step program to change and break addiction to give you freedom in your life.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Hello, I'm Wyln historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@wylntv.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
My name is Zyla, and tomorrow's gonna be rainy.
The land at the confluence of the Susquehanna River's north and west branches had always been strategically important to Pennsylvania's Native Americans. The waterways allowed them to reach most of today's state, and trails branched off from the confluence's area in all directions. From 1727 to 1756, the area, at the time called Shamokin before the eventual town that rose 17 miles to the east would get that name, was one of the most prominent Native communities in the state, home to about 300 residents, including Delaware tribe members displaced by the infamous walking purchase from their homelands farther east. Among the most prominent frequent residents was the Oneida chief Shikellamy, who served as the Iroquois Six Nations ambassador to the colonial Pennsylvania government. Shikellamy frequently worked with colonial diplomat Conrad Weiser, often guiding him through Iroquois country, including the central Susquehanna Valley, on his missions. It is in Shikellamy's honor that the current town of Sunbury's High School was named. In 1756, while most of the natives' lands west of the Susquehanna was sold to Pennsylvania, those in the then Shamokin area retained control of their property. Within a few years, however, what is known in America as the French and Indian War broke out, and the confluence of the Susquehanna's branches was a militarily strategic location. British officers, wanting to protect their colonists from French and native raiders from the upper Allegheny region, built a series of 12 forts along the river, all the way up to near today's Lock Haven, with the largest and southernmost one in Shamokin. Built by Colonel William Clapham in 1756, it was named Fort Augusta in honor of George III's mother, Augusta of Saxe-Coburg. The fort was built so strongly that it was never placed under siege. While the French and their native allies did float cannons down the Susquehanna to try and conquer it, they found upon reaching the site that they would not be able to damage it at all. When Northumberland County was formed in 1772, its first councils met at Fort Augusta, and the fort's powder magazine was the first county jail. During the Revolution, Fort Augusta was taken over by American forces and served as the Patriots' military headquarters for the Susquehanna Valley. In this capacity, it became a place of safety for refugees escaping native attacks in the Wyoming Valley in 1778, an exodus known as the Big Runaway. Fort Augusta would be decommissioned and dismantled in 1796. Today, the property is owned by the Northumberland County Historical Society, which runs a museum in the adjacent Hunter House, which was built by descendants of the fort's last commander, Colonel Sam Hunter. Troops who stepped outside Fort Augusta's walls during its heyday, however, were not as safe. This was a lesson found out the hard way by garrison member James Patton, who in the spring of 1756 was tending the fort's cow herd. Unarmed, he stopped by a spring for a drink, when he was set upon by two native fighters who were looking for two other soldiers from the fort. They shot and scalped him, and the dying Patton's blood spilled into the water, turning it bright red. Since that day, the spring is known as Bloody Spring. When Northumberland County was formed, the then Shamokin was named the county seat. It was at this time that the nation's community name would be changed to Sunbury, after the town of Sunbury-on-Thames, just outside London. Thus, today's Sunbury cites 1772 as its official beginning. The community grew slowly but surely in the decades that followed. In 1775, the streets of the town would be laid out by William Maclay, a veteran of the French and Indian War and the subsequent Pontiac's Rebellion. Maclay lived in Sunbury from 1773 to 1786, after which he moved down to Dauphin County, helping his grandfather-in-law John Harris Sr. lay out Harrisburg. In 1789, Maclay would have the honor of being one of Pennsylvania's first 2 senators to serve in the U.S. Senate under the Constitution. Maclay, however, lost the lottery with the other original Pennsylvania Senator, Robert Morris, and would serve only a 2-year term in the Senate instead of a typical 6-year term. He would make the most of his time in Congress, though, becoming an outspoken critic of George Washington's policies. After leaving the Senate in 1791, Maclay remained active in politics, serving 4 terms in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives and as a presidential elector for Thomas Jefferson in the 1796 election. William Maclay died in 1804. His house in Sunbury on Arch and Front Street still stands today, now known as the Maclay-Wolverton House. From 1811 to 1818, Sunbury had a celebrity in its midst, Lorenzo DuPont, former librettist to Mozart, who collaborated with the latter on many of his best-known operas, including Don Giovanni and The Marriage of Figaro. Fleeing his native Italy to avoid outstanding debts, DuPont lived a much more mundane existence in Sunbury as a grocer and distiller. He would build the first 3-story brick building in the community in 1814 at the corner of Market and 3rd Streets. Having fallen further into debt as his businesses failed, DuPont moved on to New York City in 1818, where he would go on to teach Italian literature at Columbia and built the first custom-made opera house in the United States. 1812 would also see an unusual confrontation at the Donnell House in Sunbury. General Hugh Brady and Captain Daniel Levy came to the tavern following a parade and sat down at a table to have a drink. At some point, for reasons not clear, things became heated between the 2 men until they each pulled out their swords and started dueling. Across the room, the 2 men fought, Brady wounding Levy in the shoulder and shattering his opponent's sword handle. Brady's subsequent parry shattered his sword against the windowsill, and it was at this point that bartender Michael Kutzner and bystander Samuel All intervened to stop the fight. Calm was quickly restored between the 2 combatants thereafter. Although more of a barroom brawl, Brady and Levy's fight is sometimes referred to as the last duel fought in Pennsylvania. As the 19th century progressed, railroads rose in prominence across America. The Sunbury area, with its location at both major land and water crossroads, was a natural junction point for the iron rails. Beginning in 1858, Sunbury would be the northern terminus of the Northern Central Railway, a longtime subsidiary of the Pennsylvania Railroad, which stretched south to Baltimore. It operated for 134 years until its tracks were washed out by Hurricane Agnes in 1972, and its then parent company Penn Central decided not to rebuild. 5 other major railroads would run out of Sunbury throughout the 19th century: the Danville and Pottsville, Philadelphia and Erie, Sunbury, Hazleton, and Wilkes-Barre, Sunbury, Lewistown, and Philadelphia and Reading. Many of these lines would also be consolidated into the Pennsylvania Railroad system. It would be in fact on the Pennsylvania Railroad near Sunbury, on the former Sunbury and Lewistown's line, that the first modern crossbucks would be introduced at railroad crossings in 1917. The railroads became one of Sunbury's biggest employers through the years. The Pennsylvania Railroad in 1872 built a large roundhouse in Sunbury and Packer Street. It had space for 36 locomotives. Operations there moved to Northumberland in 1911 when a new roundhouse was built there. The Sunbury Roundhouse was torn down in 1936.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.